Welcome to our show, Umbrellas of Hope. We are committed to enrich the life of members of the veteran and military community by connecting them to the resources that they need. We advocate for professional and entrepreneurial opportunities and facilitate conversations of hope, empowerment, and creativity to reduce military and civilian transition difficulties and to help our veteran and entrepreneurs families to thrive. Hi, I'm Niurka, your host. We invite you to be part of this journey as we, together, bring a positive change on new beginnings, opportunity, and success. On new mini-series, we'll be introducing the art of business to share with you how it can enhance your life, your community, and your future. So stay tuned. Let's welcome Thomesa Lydon. She's an entrepreneur, an international best-selling author, and realtor, and the TV host of The Best Is Yet to Come. And she's here to share with you the secret of how to keep it fun until you're done. So stay tuned.
Hey, everybody. Are you dressed and having fun yet? Well, I am gussied up. Now, a little bit of trivia. I thought gussied up was a Southern term for when women are all dressed up in the South. They refer to them as gussied up. And kind of like when men are all dressed up, they are called Dapper Dan. But technically, it is a term used by Americans, Australians, and Canadians that refers to, and it comes back from the 1900s, and it refers to dressed and embellished. So here I am, all dressed and embellished. Now, I would have worn the glasses, but they're not quite indoor glasses. So excuse me if we just put those aside. Hi and welcome. My name is Thomesa Lydon and I am a realtor, a designer, a speaker, an author, and a curator of my own joy. Now, if you leave here today and take nothing but one thing, let it be this. Never let anyone steal your joy. Now, I'm going to start out with talking about the 5 influences of how I built my business and how I wanted it to operate, or how I wanted to operate it. So, number 1 is my mom. My mom was my number 1 influencer. She was, of course, all our moms are the greatest moms, but she was so good. But the 3 lessons that I learned that are most impactful was number 1, she said, you only live once. Live it. Live. Number 2, if you want it, you can have it. Now, she didn't add the phrase, if you take action. But back in the 1950s, as a stay-at-home mom, she could have been a personal development guru. And number 3, you can't take it with you. She always taught us to share and be generous. Share all you can. Don't can all you get. Now, my number 2 influencer is Irma Bombeck. Now, we're moving up to like the 1960s now. But Irma Bombeck literally dug into the everyday lives of housewives and parents and just created just the mother lode of humor around the subject of housewife and parenting. And it was such a success. She became one of the country's best-selling authors and newspaper columnist. Now, maybe not everybody on here knows what a newspaper is, but back in the day, we used to wait till morning, early in the morning, somebody would come along and toss a paper up on your doorstep so you could read about the news and any information that happened yesterday. Now that's quite different than today, right? Everything is real time and we're bombarded with it. But back to Irma Bombeck, she wanted to remind people what was important in life. And I'm going to read her quote so I don't mess it up. If I had life to live over, I would have waxed less and listened more. Now, again, back in that day, waxing pertained to furniture and floors. What can I say? She went on to say, but mostly, given another shot at life, I would seize it, every minute of it. I would look at it. I'd really see it. I'd try it on and live it more. I'd exhaust it. And I would never give that minute back until there was nothing left of it. Now, she always encouraged people to eat on their finest china, use the finest stemware, and use the good linen, because every single day is a special occasion. Don't save it for a special occasion. Use it every single day. Between my mom and her prim and properness, which I didn't get much of, and Irma Bombeck's humorous expressions, my life motto was born. If it's not fun, I am done. That's been it for me all my life. So number 3 is Bo Eason. Bo Eason is a former National League football player that turned author, playwright, and speaker. And about 10 years ago, he said to me, the most important thing will be a personal power story to tell and build your business. That's where the future is going, with storytelling. And he was so right, because our own story is the foundation of how we create and relate to others that have a need or a problem that need a solution in a timely manner. Now that's all good, but I have to add one thing to it. And that is, you got to make it fun until you're done. Because who wants to have a problem or a project or something to deal with and not have any fun doing it? So I think you can all agree with me on that one. And number 4 is art. The root word of art is artem, A-R-T-E-M. It means the quality of expression of what is beautiful and of significance. Wow. The quality of expression of what is beautiful and of significance. Now, you can take that into any industry, any element, and use it to the benefit of what you do. I use it in regard to life. Live life, which is a beautiful thing, to its fullest. And that's of great significance. That's what I love about that phrase. Number 5 is Immanuel Kant, K-A-N-T, as in I can't wait to see you. He was German born, but he was a great thinker from way back when in enlightenment and philosophy. Now, in all his comprehensive works, he mainly focused on ethics and morality. Now, he believed that with human intelligence, you should know and learn how to treat others. Wow. Isn't that something that's missing in our society these days? Treating people ethically, morally, with kindness and compassion. Wow. So as a result of these 5 influences, I have put together my mom, Irma Bombeck, Bo Eason, art, and Immanuel Kant, because they have and possess the best threads to weave the foundation of the type of business I wanted to put out there for people and for people to know about and for me to be part of. So that's where the influence was so impactful for me. Now, artistically, they lived a full life, with authenticity. They laughed more, they shared, and they were caring, and they treated people ethically. That is just so awesome. I'm so excited about that, and you should be too. Your clients will. So my mom always cared about others more than she cared about herself. And in the thinking from Immanuel Kant, it's also treating yourself well. She just cared about others more than herself. And I think that's why those 3 lessons are so important to me, because she wanted those for me for my entire life, because she never had them for herself. Kind of sad. And sadly, her greatest endeavor came after the death of my young brother, at the age of 27. Now, thoughts of morality must have set in, because my mom was a great cook. Boy, could she cook and make desserts. She taught us everything under the sun but how to cook. So that mortality issue that may have creeped up made her, I think, gave her the passion to put in a binder all the recipes of the favorite meals of me and my sister, so that someday we would have those. Well, quite unexpectedly, that binder became a published book titled Angels in Your Kitchen by Fran Keegan. She went all over the country doing book signings at Barnes & Noble, Hastings, Walden Book, and such. And she would bring prepared samples so people could taste some of the favorite recipes that came from the book. Now, volume 2 of Angels in Your Kitchen was filled with stories from people she had met on her travels that had lost a child. They shared the recipe of their child's favorite dish and their child's story in book 2. Book 3, More Angels in Your Kitchen, was published just before she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Now, although she struggled for 14 years with Alzheimer's, she was still very impactful in just everybody's lives, especially ours. She is my hero. Get a little teary on that one, so sorry. But with a broken heart, my sister and I watched my mom and dad deteriorate in their large, high-maintenance home that took a lot of time, effort, energy, and finances to maintain and keep up. They stayed in it way too long. Despite all the encouragement from my sister and myself about getting help, getting caregivers, getting moved into a smaller home, or coming in to live with us, it just went on deaf ears. My dad had heart disease, kidney disease, and COPD, which is lung disorder, and diabetes. My mom, who was always taking care of everybody else, even in her late stages of Alzheimer's, insisted that she take care of my dad, monitor his health, tend to his meds and his insulin shots. Wow! If that's not an accident waiting for a place to happen, more like a disaster waiting for a place to happen, right? And it did. With all the coaxing in the world, we couldn't get them to realize we were intentional in them having the best life, not suffering in health or risk factors. We just wanted what was best for them, but it was not to be. It was grave concern to us, and no pun intended. But that stubbornness landed my dad in his grave and put my mom in memory care. And we could have avoided so much of the emotional, mental, physical, and financial hardships if only we had come together as a family and created some kind of plan. Family involvement for planning for the next chapter of your life is critical. Now, I jump right to what I call the 60-40 rule. When parents are in their 60s and the adult kids are in their 40s, it is time to let the conversations begin about how you see yourself living, how your parents see themselves living in the next 10, 20, or even 30 years down the road. And how can you, as the adult child, help them facilitate and accommodate that? You gotta have a plan. Don't leave it to chance. P, prepare in advance. Get the facts, the figures, and those documents in place before you need them. L, let everyone know what you want. Your kids are not mind readers. They don't know how you want to live in your next 10, 20, 30 years. So you got to tell them. And A is for acknowledging the safety concerns. There are accidents lurking around your environment and your household. The number one accident among seniors is falling. And 1 in every 2 seniors that fall and sustain a serious injury, 1 will pass away within the first 12 months of that fall. And N is just never give up that youthful heart and mind. It is a mindset, baby, for sure. Now, how do I convince other people to do what my parents wouldn't do? And that's where I birthed Lydon Senior Pathways. It is a real estate business with a senior move management service, and I created it and designed it to help baby boomers and their parents to become educated in how important it is to have a plan for the next chapter of your life. We plan for a meal. We plan for a wedding. We plan for the weekend. Why can't we plan for the rest of our life, or at least the next chapter? But I didn't want anyone to have to go through what my sister and I did, which could have easily been avoided. So what did I do? Created this business, and my number one order of business was to write a book. I wrote Smart Living for Seniors, How to Make the Best of the Rest. Very easy read that just kind of itemizes and lays it all out for what you need to do and create the best life going forward. The second order of business was, how the heck do I make that fun? Well, I am an Air Force brat. We moved around the country and sometimes just around the block, relocating, purging, packing, unpacking. I loved it. But I discovered that there weren't a lot of people in my corner that loved it. That type of thing to most people ranks right up there with divorce, death, and taxes. So how, as a realtor, do I change perspective for people to get on board and enjoy the ride with me? That is not where I saw my real estate career going. But I had to stop and think about it. It can be done. Again, it's a mindset. We set ourselves out to fix a problem, find the solution, and make it better for others. So that's what I did. How could I take what most people despised, especially our seniors, sorting and organizing and discarding their stuff, selling a large home, buying a smaller home, or deciding to move into assisted living or independent living communities? How do you make it fun? But it can be, because wow, that's my ongoing story. It's stuff I loved. And I can get my energy over to someone else and make them love it too. I just know it. So I did. So from consultation to close of escrow, we are making it fun until they are done. And it's done artistically and beautifully. And we give it great significance because it's our seniors and they are worth it. They are worth it. Our greatest generation is worth it. And I truly believe if we customize an individual plan for each person and make the challenges or the activities that have to be accomplished for their smart sizing, and we call it smart sizing because downsizing is a downer. And we want to be just smart about it because look at us. We're so smart. We are smart sizing and we're going to make it fun. We're going to take the overwhelm out of it for you. And all the while, you get to stay in control and make all the decisions. Some of the reason not having family talks and doing plans with a family is that we don't want to lose control. But it's not about control. It's about having a plan of action. And then we go make it happen. So I will say to you that it can be done. We do it. And in addition to just the things of housing, financial, legal, you really do need to start thinking about eating nutritional foods, keeping your body moving, staying engaged in relationships, minimizing that stuff that you're holding on for the kids. And as we know, they don't really want it. And most of all, always be interesting. Now, that is a question I asked Martha Stewart when I shared the stage with her in Carnegie Hall. She was 77 years old. And that's the answer that came out of her. What was the most important lesson you learned in your life? And she said, always be interesting. Now, that is the last thing I thought would come out of her mouth, but it did. And she's so right. We have to be interesting, not just to others, but for ourselves. If we're in a situation where we're alone, be interesting even to yourself. Show up every single day. It's all a mindset, baby. You can make yourself do it if you have your own little talk with yourself, but show up every day. And join me, if you will, in my mission to keep the main thing, which is artistically, beautifully creating, living, experiencing, and caring and sharing. Because my mama said, you only live once. If you want it, you can have it. And you can't take it with you. So thank you for joining me. And remember, it's all a mindset. Speak kindly to yourself and give yourself an opportunity to live life on purpose. Thank you.
Wow, There were so many golden nuggets in Thomas' presentation. It was wonderful. The one that still had me tearing up, it was a story about her mother. What about you? But that story where she took one of the most painful moments that any mother can go through, her son passing, to create something wonderful out of it. The agents in your kitchen, even the title, is amazing. That's such a great way to honor her son memory. And to top it off, she brought samples of recipe in the book that she wrote, a collection of her favorite son recipes for people to taste in all her book signing all across the US. She didn't stop there. She created Agents of Your Kitchen too, that has stories of the people that tasted her recipe and came to her signing and share her own favorite recipe of her kids. Book 3, she wrote it when she was already diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Another testament of her resilience. So powerful. The way that you choose to be created is infinite. That's what I always say. The way that you choose to be created is infinite because it opens the door to so many possibilities. And you will never know how many lives can you impact when you say yes to yourself. How many lives did she impact through her books, through her stories, through her pain? So the transformation of that pain into something wonderful that she shared with others and that she allowed other people to share with her. Like Thomesa reminded us to never, 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 listen well, never let anybody steal your joy. Because you only live once. So that means we must live life with purpose. Pick a problem, find a solution to that problem, and make it better for others and yourself. And what about those classes? They were so much fun. I have a challenge for you. Share a selfie of you wearing your most fun glasses in social media, hashtag umbrellas of hope, hashtag make it fun, and tell me how you make it fun.
Are you ready to be an entrepreneur? Entrepreneurs are confident, positive, creative, resourceful, and resilient people who are faced with problems and they create solutions. If this sounds like you, tune in to Founders Time to learn more and start your journey.
The road to success is always under construction. And what I'm going to be talking about today is the following. It's first of all that the way we sell today versus the way that we sold in the past versus the way people are buying today versus the way they bought in the past are completely different. So
You have and will continue to enjoy this journey in creativity with us. In today's world, where artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, advancing science, and autonomous vehicles is our new normal, creativity has never been more important. This new miniseries of Umbrellas of Hope was created in order to inspire you and empower you by giving you the creative confidence to redesign the world around you, to create new solutions that are invaluable for today's society, powered by your vision, your own unique talents, and limited only by your imagination. Our world, our society, our future needs you.